right number.
Everybody's here?
Sure of that.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are very excited to introduce another new Philly to the organization as the club formally announced the signing of Taijuan Walker to a 4-year contract. And Ty, we're very excited to have you here in Philly, as well as your family, as you're joined by your wife, Heather, and your 2 sons, Zayden and Zoran. Thank you for being here and welcome. But at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dave Nabrowski, who's going to begin with a jersey presentation and some opening remarks. Dave?
Thanks, Kevin. Welcome back. It's nice to have everybody. Very exciting day for our organization to welcome Ty and his family to the organization. Quality starting pitcher to go with our other guys up there with the Wheeler and Nola and Suarez and our youngsters, and we're very excited to bring him on board. Very talented individual, goes out there every 5 days with quality stuff. We really love his split finger that he threw a lot more last year and will continue to do so. So we had nice conversations on Zoom, and we're very happy to bring him on board. So we're thrilled. Welcome. He's already found a place to stay, which is quick. Special thanks again to all the people in our organization involved in this, starting with John Middleton, who we always appreciate his support. We had a great Zoom call with Caleb and Brian Kaplan and Rob Thompson, in addition to the others in the organization that very thankful for what they did. To Scott and his group for making this happen. And welcome to your new home. So let me present you with, we didn't have anybody else wearing 99, so you were in good shape. And here's your new hat.
I'll wear it too.
All right. Great. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And I should say, I forgot to mention, Taiwan's agent, Scott Boris, is also here and available for questions should you have any as well. So if you do have a question, we have microphones on either side of the room. Just raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you, and we can get started with our first question. Not all at once, right here. Jimmy on the right.
Welcome to Philly, Taiwan. I just wonder if you could talk about the path here, what attracted you to the Phillies, and how many other teams were interested, and maybe the decision-making process, if you could just tell us about that.
Yeah, we got on a Zoom call a couple of weeks ago. Talked with Dave and Caleb and Rob, and just kind of their vision and their vision for me, kind of what they can do and help me get better, especially with my split finger, up the usage on it, and kind of develop, my cutter a little bit more and stuff. But also just to be added with, Nola and Wheeler and Suarez in that rotation. And, I really like the lineup. We have, 1 through 9, can do damage. So I was just really excited about that. The Phillies being in the World Series last year, just ready to win. Getting Trey Turner was huge. So it was all exciting things for me.
Okay, Alex in the middle.
Hey, Taiwan, welcome. What was the significant, is there a significance behind 99? Like, what made you want to go with that number? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think there's only one team that I could go to where I couldn't be 99, and that was the Yankees. I think every other team was available, so I was tired of switching my number. I think I had 3 or 4 numbers before I switched to 99. I was like, you know what, there's only one team I can't go to, so yeah, that's why I chose 99.
Okay, Tom on the right.
Ty, welcome to Philly. What's been the biggest change for you these last several years in your maturation as a pitcher?
I would say probably the split finger and just being more aggressive. I was able to be in a rotation with DeGrom and Scherzer last year, Bassett, and those guys, and kind of just learn from them. Cookie, Carlos Carrasco, he was a big help. He helped me tinker with my splitter a little bit, same grip he had. But just being in a rotation with those guys and just picking their brains and kind of taking a little bit of everything, especially from Max, how competitive he is. I was able to take some of that from him, and hopefully I can bring it over here.
Okay, go to Matt on the left.
Dave, in your mind, what made Taijuan a good fit for this rotation, and what is it about him, maybe the innings specifically, that you guys valued the most? Because there were numerous mid-rotation types out there.
Well, we, of course, had our meetings, discussed it very thoroughly. We liked him from a lot of different reasons, and it really came down to that. We were looking for that person that can be real solid, gives us a chance to win every start, fits in real well with the rotation, pitches innings. We did like his stuff. We liked how it continued to get better. We had all of our evaluation information from everyone. Our pitching people with Caleb and Cap, they really broke it down well where they thought there were some improvements they could continue even to work upon. So for us, it just looked like a natural fit if we were able to make it happen. We didn't know if it would be able to work, of course, because we know there were a lot of interest, but we really was the person that we focused on when it came down to that.
And Scott, you're well aware of the young pitching that the Phillies have coming. You're personally familiar with them. What makes you think that Taijuan fits now and later in this Phillies rotation? What is it about him?
Ty is he's an interesting athlete in the sense that, for me, sometimes when you're a great athlete in our game, how you develop and what you do, there's a lot of definition going on because you have so many alternatives, so many things you can do, and when you focus. And I think when Ty found his splitter, all things began to form into a confidence level, a consistency level, where now he can get past that. It's very difficult when you look at the number of starters that get past 150 innings these days. And his athleticism is now coordinating with his experience and being around great pitchers, doing those things. We're seeing something form where this is one of those situations for me where I believe the athlete is forming into the pitcher, and we're going to see performance levels out of Ty that come with his experience, his knowledge of his repertoire that we haven't seen before. So there's a certain catcher here that's pretty doggone good. And to have that component, now to have really a defensive element behind him, we're seeing really a new formation. And Ty and I talking, it's kind of when you have a team like this, and Dave and I's been Dave's a little bit older than I am, but we've been doing this for a while. But we kind of looked at one another and said, this guy fits here like you wouldn't believe. And so now we've got, great number 1 and 1A pitchers here in Philadelphia to go with Ty after being, where he was earlier in his career. So, but this man is an amazing athlete. He really, really is. And I'm really excited about being around this team at this time to where we're going to see a lot more out of Ty going forward, where he has a chance, I think, to step into a different elite level of his career.
Okay, go to Jimmy right here in the front right.
Ty, I was wondering, was there an aha moment for you when you decided I need to throw the splitter more?
Yeah, it was early in the year this year. May, yeah, it was in May, and I had gotten some jams, and I was getting beat by my fastball and stuff with people on base, and I realized how good my splitter was, and from that day forward, I was just telling myself, okay, if I'm gonna get beat, I'm gonna get beat by my best pitch, and it's the splitter. And ever since then, I've got people on base, second, third. If I need a ground ball, swing and miss, I just went to the splitter. And if I had to throw it 10 times in a row, I would. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Jimmy.
A few years ago, Zach Wheeler came from the Mets, signed here as a free agent, and on the day he was introduced, he talked about how eager he was to see how the Phillies analytics department could help him go to the next level. Is there any part of that in you, and what specifically are you looking for those folks to maybe, help tweak and take you to that next level?
Yeah, I think every organization's different. They each have something to offer. Over with the Mets, I was able to learn how to throw my splitter more and, and how to use it. And I think coming over here, already speaking with Caleb, I think that, we can tweak my cutter a little bit and my slider, but also just up the usage on my splitter. And, maybe work on some mechanical stuff a little bit, but really just attacking the zone. And, we've had some conversations about, the 3-1 count, the 2-1 count, just really being aggressive and having JT behind the plate, and being the best catcher in the game right now. It's just, that's going to be helpful for me as well. So I think just really just picking their brains and just learning. I'm always open to learning and trying new things. And I think whatever information they bring me, I'll be able to use some of it.
Tom in the back left.
Ty, you just mentioned that Mets rotation a few minutes ago. I'm curious how much you learned from veterans like DeGrom, like Scherzer, and now watching the playoffs, the potential of this Phillies rotation.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys, Max, future Hall of Famer, first ballot easily. With him, it's really just how he goes out and attacks. And even in between his starts, how he works, his bullpens, how intense he is in his bullpens, and every pitch matters with him. And, when I had a couple outings, he would come up to me, okay, hey, just lock it back in, get through this inning, and, you'll be able to, finish the game off the way you want to. So I think just picking his brain, obviously DeGrom, he's a special pitcher. Really just watching him attack hitters and stuff. But I think coming over here with Nola, he has great stuff, Wheeler, just kind of figuring out how they throw their pitches. Maybe I can, see how they throw their slider or their curveball or something, and just really picking their brain too.
Okay, go to Scott in front right.
Ty, I'm wondering how important you think the last 2 years were for you, just from the standpoint of being able to throw, 150 innings 2 years in a row, and after some injuries early in your career, how important was it for you to be able to do that and have that health?
Yeah, it felt good. It felt really good. The 2021, to throw over 150 innings, I think it's been since 2017 since I did that. It felt really good, and then last year to kind of repeat it and just be a little bit better. I think each year for me, just to be a little bit better each year and try to improve in areas. And being out with Tommy John and the shoulder thing for 2 years to come back and to be where I am now, I'm very blessed and thankful for that.
Dave, just, you've talked about, having a young pitcher pitch in that five spot. So you were looking for quality here, but how important was it for you to have somebody who'd been, pretty reliable and post every 5 days the last couple of years to have that track record of pitching those innings in that number 4 spot? Or in the
Well,
middle?
extremely important. When you're trying to win a championship, you need quality starting pitching, as we know. And normally it's 5. We're really looking for 5 quality starters. I think we're just in a situation where we're unique in some years that we have some really good young pitchers that are coming. And when I say that, a guy like Bailey Falter pitched well for us last year, but all of a sudden when you're in a spot where you can throw out on a everyday basis, a Wheeler, a Nola, a Walker, a Suarez, and then one of those youngsters, that's what you need to do to try to win. I think anytime you give yourself an edge, you're always looking for that edge on the starting pitcher on a particular day. And so it's something we felt was extremely important for us to find that established quality guy to give us those innings and the ability to win.
Okay, Rob in the back left.
Ty, wanted to ask you about the atmosphere at Citizens Bank Park in the postseason. Did you see it, and did it impact or influence your decision in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I've heard nothing but good things, about the fans here in Philly, how passionate they are. I actually talked to Ryan Howard a couple days ago, and he was telling me playing in the playoffs here in Philly it's the loudest he's ever heard a stadium. So for me, that's exciting, to have a fan base who's so passionate and cares so much about the team, and who shows up every day. Every time we came and played. When I was with the Mets, the Phillies fans were here. They were out. They were loud and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to pitching in front of them.
And Dave, just to follow up on Scott's point and pretty much about Ty's ceiling, what do you see that as? Because obviously he feels like there's another level that's there. What do you see it as?
Well, we do too. We like what we've seen so far, but we do think there is another level. And I think part of it, you try to do your homework from just when you look at a picture and see, he likes them too, so that's it. But I think when you try to look at a whole history of an individual. You're talking about a person, high draft choice, way back, so great pedigree in that regard. Always regarded as a quality pitching prospect as he got into the big leagues. Tremendous athlete. So you deal with a lot of those things that you're looking at, put you in a position where you continue to project improvement. He's improved the last couple of years. Our pitching people, the evaluation aspect in every regard, look at his stuff and say, here's quality stuff out on the mound that can win on a consistent basis. Yet we also think we can shape the pitches a little bit better, throw the split more. So when you look at all those things, you're in a position where you say, okay, we're here, and why can't we get to here? He's only 30. I mean, he's right in the prime of his career, so it's a great situation. And not that he couldn't handle it, but he doesn't have to be the guy. We've got 4 guys that are really good and a youngster. So I think it's a tremendous setting for him to be able to accomplish that. So, I mean, he won 12 games last year. It wouldn't surprise me if we're quite a few more wins than that coming up. So we really like the overall ability. And the other thing I'd say too, from what I've heard, work ethic, tremendous. I've heard from anybody that I've talked to and all the homework we did. And I mean, I tell to people, and I told Ty this myself, is that is from an organizational perspective, out of the blue people that have called us that we've known in the game various that just said, you're getting one of the quality individuals you'll ever meet as a teammate ever in the game. So when you start putting all that together, and I mentioned that to him, and then he said one of the people that he talked to is Torrey Hunter. Well, I happen to know Torrey very well. They don't come any better teammates and individuals than that. So when you look at that total package, you're talking about somebody that I think that there's further upside there.
Okay, go to Paul in the back right.
Taiwan, being on the other side of this rivalry the last couple of years, you've faced this team as much as anyone. I think 9 or 10 starts against the Phillies. You talked about it a little bit earlier, but what was your approach when you faced this lineup, and was the talent in that lineup one of the draws to coming here?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just keeping guys off base. They have so many guys who can do damage. I think the biggest one, I don't have to face Schwarber anymore. But yeah, I mean, even Harper too. You know, they have so many guys who can hit, and they do the little things. You know, Harper's bunting; he can hit 40 home runs a year if he wanted to, but you know, he wants to do little things to win ball games. And for me, you know, it's just they're not selfish. You know, they know what they need to do to get the job done, and to go out there and pitch, knowing that the offense is going to score 4 or 5 runs for me every time I'm out there, gives me more confidence just to go out there and be aggressive on the mound and just attack hitters.
Okay, Alex right there in the middle.
Hey, Ty. You mentioned Ryan Howard earlier. Did you guys know each other before, or how do you know him?
Yeah, a little bit, but I have a good friend of mine who kind of introduced us a little bit more. You know, I talked to Jimmy Rollins before too, and you know, they had nothing but great things to say about Philly, and you know, just kind of really excited me to, after I was done talking with them.
So you were just kind of picking their brains a little bit?
Yeah, you know, how the city was, the fans, and you know, the clubhouse, and you know, I've had actually a bunch of guys who were on the Philly team. Brad Miller, I'm really close with, and he texted me and said it's the best clubhouse he's ever been in, so I'm excited.
And then second, obviously you have a history with the Mets. Have you given any thought to what it's going to be like facing those guys?
It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Francisco texted me, Lindor, and he said, you know, can't wait for the battles. You know, I know those guys really well, so you know, they're my friends off the field, but you know, when we step in between the lines, you know, they're the enemy now. So I'm gonna go out there and you know, compete against them.
Go to Matt on the left there.
I'm just wondering, have you always thrown the splitter, or where did you learn the grip? You know, why is it a pitch that you like so much?
Yeah, I've always thrown it. I've been throwing it since 2013, but it's just been real inconsistent. You know, some games would be good, some games it wouldn't. And really this year, talking with Carrasco, and just trying his grip out. My first start here against the Phillies actually this year, I threw both grips, and his grip just felt more comfortable, and I was just seeing more consistent action with it, and I just stuck with it. And so thank you, Cookie, for that. But yeah, it's been, yeah, ever since I just saw how consistent it was, I just started throwing it more and just seeing the results I was getting from it.
Okay. Any further questions for Ty or anyone else up here? Okay. All right. Great. Well,
Kevin,
thank you.
let me just one other. I just want to add, because I want to thank everybody. I also want to personally, from our organization, thank the person who did really the contractual work for us. Ned Rice really did a lot in this to make this happen. So tip of the cap to Ned.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Ty. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Good job. Thank you. Great job. Great job. Great. Are you flying back tonight?